Yeah, it was pretty hectic for a while, and after the video premiered and all the tours were over, I spent some time at home, and then I just kind of spent the rest of my time going around and seeing family. I did quite a bit of traveling with the family. I went to California with the family and went to Alaska. Just kind of spent time with my kids and my wife and my parents and in-laws and stuff, and it was a good summer though. It was really nice having Adidas just being so willing to facilitate any sort of travel or idea that we came up with or whatever. There was trips going on all the time, and it was kind of like you could kind of pick and choose the ones you wanted to go on. Like even if you didn't have your own idea of what you wanted to do, there was always another trip going on that you could kind of jump on. The trip to Japan was amazing. I had seen a photo of a spot in a city that I'd never heard of and wanted to check it out and did some research, and then Adidas was willing enough to like trust that we would get something there, and off we went. And it was really cool just exploring a new region and just doing it with a good friend, and it was nice being able to just kind of go where we wanted to go. That's that skate brain boredom kind of thing. Like we were just stopped, not even boredom I guess, we were just stopped at checking out this bamboo forest, and we started playing with the bamboo poles because they're just so amazing, these big long thick bamboo poles, and ended up turning into a rail I guess. It was pretty fun. Eugene is a hippie town. It's also a college town. It's also a track town, big sports. So it's a very like eclectic living place, I guess. I think that the benefits I got from being around liberal, open-minded, progressive hippies type people was just all those things that, it gave me the idea of like questioning what you were told. It gave me the idea of like keeping your mind open to new ideas and to new people. And also I think it also gave me a sense of adventure, you know what I mean? It instilled that because there's a lot of beautiful stuff around the area and a lot of opportunity to go and do cool things around Eugene in the woods or on the beach or wherever. I had moved to San Francisco and was filming with Trevor Prescott a lot and just skating around SF, and through him and his circle I kind of came across Brennan Conroy, who was the filmer for Habitat at the time. Gave him my Sponsor Me DVD, and then it just kind of progressed from there. Just my relationship with Brennan just got better and better, and just started skating with him and met some other guys, and it just happened. We all have a lot of trust and faith in Joe. Like, he's done so many great videos in the past, and he's done so much great art, and the boards are always so amazing, and the direction of the company is always so amazing. So we have him as our like central leader, I guess, you know what I mean? He's like the person that we all look up to and admire, like kind of like a father figure of something. And then together amongst that, we all come together for our admiration of Joe and music and the arts that he does, and also the type of skating that he encourages and appreciates, and then we also appreciate each other's skating a lot, and we don't see each other all that much, so when we do get together, we have it's not only about just going skating together, it's about getting to know each other and seeing where we've been and what we've been up to and what each other's lives are about. Looking back upon it, I think that it maybe seemed like it was more stressful than it actually was at the time. At that time in my life, I was pretty clueless about skateboarding and the industry and about the effects of videos and people and tricks and all that stuff. I was pretty new to the whole industry. I kind of just went on the trips and skated and shredded and just did what I thought I was supposed to be doing, and was having a good time doing it. And filming for that video was amazing. It was that was like my first exploration of the country and the world, you know what I mean? Like, that time period was really exciting for me. I don't really know, honestly. I think that just kind of like, let's see. So like half that footage was like Sponsor Me tape footage, stuff that I filmed before I'd moved out of Oregon, stuff that like from when I was, when I was still living in Eugene. And the other half was stuff that I'd gotten once I'd lived in San Francisco for like the 4 months that I lived there before the video came out. Mike Rafter was filming and editing that video, and so he was setting that whole thing up, and then I had been skating with him a little bit, and he just like was stoked, I guess. And I mean, it kind of was weird how it all worked out, because it wasn't really planned. It wasn't something I was like working on or working towards. It was just like I had all this footage, and then Mike Rafter got it, and then he just ended up putting it in that video, and it was a surprise to me that it was the ending part, and even to have a full part in it was surprising to me. So that just kind of was thank you, Mike Rafter. Appreciate that. I think it just comes from like, I get an idea of something, like sometimes it's like I'm trying to do a trick and I like slip out. Like the front blunt to nose blunt, I was doing front blunt to backswing nose grind kind of thing, and I kept on over rotating it kind of, and then so I was like, oh, I bet you could go all the way around to nose blunt, and then that thought couldn't come out of my head. I just like kind of obsessed over it and thought about it a bunch, and then just played with it until I figured it out, and that's super fun, you know what I mean? And it's like the idea of like taking something that didn't exist and then making it into something that exists. So like trying a trick, you like through messing up, you get close to something else, and that spawns the idea for a different kind of trick and then the discovery of how to make that happen is really fun. And I think that's why some of those tricks happen. The 50-50 to 50-50, that was something that just like same thing, it got stuck in my head that it was possible, and then I just couldn't let it go kind of, and then I had the opportunity and I had the pressure to do something like that, and then it just kind of worked out, you know. The 50 to 50, I went there one night and tried it for like probably 30 minutes. I didn't even try and do the gap. I just was trying to get onto the first rail and see how comfortable I could be like standing on the first rail. And then came back the next day and probably tried for, I don't know, I guess an hour is what I think. I don't really remember too well, but probably an hour. I was right by my house, and so at that time my kids were still napping, my son was still napping, and so like we'd be driving around and he'd be like getting close to falling asleep, so I would just drive in different routes and circles around my neighborhood, and that's how I found that thing. Was like it was just like tucked away in the neighborhood, and I was like, oh, look at this church, and it was like a double set. I was like, maybe you could gap to grind it, and then I looked at it some more, I was like, maybe you could grind it, and then I showed it to Brennan, and Brennan was like, dude, you gotta do it, and then I was like, I don't think I can, and I was like scared to try, and then he's like, all right, Mark can do it. If you're not gonna do it, I'm gonna bring Mark up here and he can do it. And I was like, fuck, dude. And then John Holland was in town, and we were filming for the Transworld video, and Brennan was there, and like it was just like, let's go look at it, you know. And then it just like, I felt the pressure from Brennan, or from Suchu, I guess, because I knew that he could do it too. I mean, I think a lot of people can do that kind of shit. They just haven't tried, you know. It was a conscious effort to see different places. I knew I loved Portland, I knew I loved Oregon, and I just wanted to like live in some different places and meet people, and just when I had an opportunity to live somewhere else, I would take that opportunity. I kind of always knew that I wanted to be back in Oregon. I just was like really trying to explore and see other places and see what I actually liked. Yeah, I lived in Chicago and Denver and San Francisco and Santa Rosa and Sunnyvale and all over. They're all wonderful places. They're all really cool and for their own separate ways. I mean, I think a big sense of it is just what I'm comfortable with, what I'm familiar with, you know, like in Portland is like a liberal, open-minded community place, and I kind of grew up with that, and so it's something I wanted when I got older, I guess. A lot of it has to do with my family's around there. My mom's not too far away, my dad's not too far away, my brother lives in Portland. I have a good circle of friends and community of people that I've known for a long time, so I think it was just that, and just Portland's a beautiful city, and there's so much fun stuff to do in the area, and it fits my desires really well, like being able to go out and hike and fish and camp, and also have all the wonderful benefits of living in a city, but not a very big city, you know. Don't Californicate Oregon. State's full, go home. It rains here a lot. No, come one, come all, man. It's cool. Just appreciate Portland for what Portland is. Don't move here expecting it to be San Francisco or San Jose, you know. Like we have a strong history of community and our own culture, and if you don't like it, then don't move up here. If you love it, then we embrace you, but don't try and turn Oregon into California, please. That place was amazing. It was our clubhouse. It really helped with skating and living in Oregon and traveling and filming video parts and being older. Just having a place to stay in shape and learn new tricks and skate with your friend. The park was there for 3.5 years, and it closed because our building got bought. The new landlords didn't want us there anymore. So we moved out of there. We actually have a new space, and we've been working on it, and there should be more to come from Grotto 2.0. So it's not over yet. The dream still lives on. You know, every time you do a project or something, you're always like, when this is over, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or things are going to slow down, or things are going to pick up, and it's so hard to predict any of that stuff. And anytime I ever say that I'm going to slow down and not travel as much, I end up traveling more and doing more. So I'm probably just going to do a lot more of the same. I'm going to keep on going on trips and filming and having fun and trying to figure out how to ride my skateboard and spending good time with the family and doing fun stuff. So much more of the same.